He was the man who built an empire through tunnels, bribes, and fear. A man whose name spread from the mountains of Sinaloa to every major city in the world. A man wealthy enough to buy countries, yet reckless enough to crawl through sewers to escape capture. This is the story of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, one of the most notorious drug lords in modern history. His rise, his power, his escapes, and the empire that finally came crashing down. Before we start the story of El Chapo, please support our channel with interactions, subscribe, like, leave a comment to this video. El Chapo was born in 1957 in the small farming village of La Tuna in Sinaloa, Mexico. His father was a cattle rancher and, according to multiple accounts, an occasional opium poppy farmer. Life was harsh. Poverty was routine. Young Joaquin sold oranges, learned to survive in the hills, and grew up watching cartels dominate the region. He wasn't educated. He didn't have connections. But he had ambition. And Sinaloa had opportunity. At 15, he joined relatives involved in marijuana and opium trading. He handled logistics, carried drugs through mountain paths, and earned the nickname El Chapo for his short height. But what he lacked in height, he made up in fearlessness, and people noticed. In the 1970s and early 80s, Mexico's drug network was ruled by Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, known as El Padrino. El Chapo worked as a low-level but reliable member of Gallardo's organization. His specialty? Transportation. He organized convoys, built routes, and ensured deliveries arrived on time. If anyone stole product, El Chapo earned a reputation for dealing with it quickly. But in 1989, Félix Gallardo was arrested, and his empire split. El Chapo saw the moment he had been waiting for. When the old empire fractured, territories were divided among rising leaders: Joaquin Guzman, Ismael El Mayo Zambada, Héctor El Güero Palma. Together, they formed what became the Sinaloa Cartel, soon to be the most powerful criminal organization on earth. El Chapo handled transport routes into the U.S. He developed the famous cross-border tunnels, engineered with ventilation, electricity, and tracks. It was a breakthrough. Border patrols never saw it coming, and Sinaloa's profits exploded. With more money came more danger. El Chapo clashed with rival cartels: the Tijuana Cartel, the Gulf Cartel, Los Zetas, Beltran Leyva. Organization kidnappings, assassinations, and territorial wars escalated. Again, no graphic details, just the truth. The violence reshaped Mexico's landscape. El Chapo became both feared and admired by some locals. He funded roads, schools, and food deliveries in Sinaloa, a strategic move to build loyalty. But eventually, his luck ran out. In 1993, El Chapo was arrested in Guatemala while fleeing Mexico. He was extradited back and sent to a maximum security Mexican prison. Many thought this was the end, but for El Chapo, prison was simply another office. He continued running operations through bribes and loyal associates. Then in 2001, he walked out of prison hidden in a laundry cart, in one of the most infamous prison escapes in modern history. During his 13 years on the run, El Chapo became a global figure. Forbes listed him among the world's richest men. Governments worldwide launched operations to find him. His cartel expanded across continents using submarines, private jets, underground tunnels, corrupt officials. By the early 2000s, Sinaloa controlled more than half of the illegal drug trade into the U.S. But power attracts attention, and it wasn't long before the hunt intensified. In 2014, Mexican Marines cornered El Chapo in Mazatlan. This time, he didn't run. He surrendered quietly, hoping diplomacy and bribes could buy time. But Mexico placed him in Altiplano, the country's highest security prison. They underestimated him again. In 2015, cameras caught El Chapo pacing in his cell, then disappearing behind a small blind spot. He had escaped through a 1.5-kilometer tunnel, dug directly under his shower, complete with rail tracks and a modified motorcycle. It was an engineering marvel and a national embarrassment. But freedom didn't last long. After a manhunt involving U.S. and Mexican intelligence, El Chapo was recaptured in early 2016 during a raid in Los Mochis. This time, the U.S. requested extradition, and Mexico agreed. El Chapo was sent to New York to face charges including trafficking, money laundering, and organized crime. In 2019, El Chapo's trial became one of the most publicized criminal cases in U.S. history. Witnesses included former cartel members, pilots, smugglers, and accountants. The prosecution detailed bribery of officials, tunnel systems, international distribution networks, billions of dollars in cartel profits. After a lengthy trial, El Chapo was convicted on all counts. He received life imprisonment plus 30 years and was sent to ADX Florence, the most secure federal prison in the United States. El Chapo's rise and fall reshaped the history of organized crime. He built one of the world's largest distribution networks, escaped prisons twice, and became a symbol of both corruption and ruthless ambition. Yet his story also revealed deeper issues: poverty, feeding criminal networks, corruption enabling cartels, international demand driving supply. El Chapo is now locked away permanently. But the empire he built continues under other leaders. His story remains a reminder of how one man can change the course of nations, for better or worse.